British politics is just such a meme. From Boris Johnson to Nigel Farage, you have it all. You have it all. Like, how can you take politicians seriously? And today I introduce you to the latest edition of the memes of British politics, the Women's Equality Party. Wait until you see what we have in store.
In the life of a feminist activist, and yes, she is wearing a mask with vulvas on it. The patriarchy driving me to Derby Station. Thanks, Dad.
So, who runs this party? The party was founded by Sandy Toksvig. You may know her for replacing Stephen Fry in QI. She's a British comedian. She has good jokes, she has funny jokes, but when humour and feminism mix, they don't tend to mix well. The leader of the party is called Mandu Reid. She is the first woman of colour to ever lead a political party, which would be an achievement if the party actually achieved anything.
I'm passing the phone to someone who thinks they're funnier than me just because they're on QI.
I'm passing the phone to the funniest person here. Oh, look at that. I'm passing the phone to someone who got caught snogging on CCTV last week.
Matt Hancock, Matt, can you get over here and do a TikTok with us, please?
So what does this party stand for? What do they think will make the lives of women in Britain significantly better? They want equal representation for women in politics and business. They want to focus on how women are presented in the media, and they want to tackle domestic violence. A lot of these I actually do agree with. I think domestic violence and how women are portrayed in the media is a very big issue. However, I don't think a political party is needed to tackle these objectives. If anything, it's unproductive. The Women's Equality Party is pretty much just Labour with a focus on women. They want collectivism and more government intervention. Like, if you look at their manifesto, you could easily get it confused with Labour's. Just the word woman is sprinkled around literally everywhere, which isn't needed in a lot of cases. Like, I don't think a Women's Climate Commission is at the top of the environmentalist agenda. I think it just seems as tokenistic and identity politics. And they claim to be non-partisan, but that's really not the case. They're very progressive, which is fine. Just don't brand yourself as non-partisan when you're not really non-partisan. The problem with the Women's Equality Party stems down to its name. Equality. I don't want equality. I want choice. I want freedom. And that's what many women in the UK want.
I think equality's better for everyone. I think,
okay.
I'm really delighted, I love my job because it's an optimistic and a hopeful job, which is about creating more choices for people. I'm interested in people being able to have different choices and having equality of outcome.
Aha, well, so you're going to have choices and equality of outcome. What if people choose different things, which is what they've been doing in Scandinavia? So the Scandinavian countries have moved more towards gender equality than any other countries, and the personality differences in Scandinavia have increased rather than decreased, and the proportion of women who are choosing STEM fields has decreased rather than increased. So as cultures become more gender neutral, the number of women who choose STEM fields decreases.
Take sexual assault, for example. The reason why sexual assault is wrong is not because women experience sexual assault more than men. It's a problem because members of our society are experiencing violence against them. That's wrong. We shouldn't just stop at equality. We should try and get rid of sexual assault as much as possible. Another problem with the Women's Equality Party is that they see things exclusively through the lens of intersectionality. Take the fact that black women are 4 times more likely to die during pregnancy and childbirth. To explain this statistic, according to The Guardian, almost all the women who experienced death during pregnancy had other issues such as mental and physical health situations, domestic violence, impoverished lifestyles. Over half were obese. So, what does the Women's Equality Party suggest to tackle this issue? Surely they have a very thought-out solution to this. Mandatory anti-racism training for staff, which is not only insulting to staff, but it's also a waste of money and extremely inefficient. If the Women's Equality Party actually cared, they'd offer more thought-out solutions, such as continuity carers. But I guess that doesn't sound as exciting as smashing the patriarchy. Similarly, the gender pay gap is one of their top issues, which has been debunked millions of times already.
Nowhere in the world, for example, do women have equal representation in positions of power. Okay, let's take a very quick look at the top 100 companies in the London Stock Exchange in 2016. Top 100 companies, how many women running them? 7. Okay, 7, that's all right, I suppose, until you realise that 17 are run by men called John. There are more men called John running FTSE 100 companies than there are women. There are 14 run by men called Dave. Now, I'm sure Dave and John doing a bang-up job. Okay. Why does it matter? Well, it's that pesky business of the gender pay gap, okay? Nowhere in the world do women earn the same as men. And that is never going to change unless we have more women at the top in the boardroom.
I'm sure you already know this, but according to the government website, the gender pay gap is simply just the average earnings between men and women. This can be explained by individual choice, such as women picking jobs with less financial reward, or picking more part-time jobs in comparison to men. Personally, I don't care if the average isn't equal, as long as individual women are getting paid the same as men for the exact same job, which is already happening. However, the Women's Equality Party don't frame it as such. I'm sorry, but if you want to actually address these issues that women face, a political party isn't the way to go, especially considering the high chance of failure. Think how much the Women's Equality Party has raised in donations. Hundreds of thousands of pounds. That money can be spent elsewhere other than political advertisement. It could be used for charity for women, or raising awareness on certain issues. They've been going since 2015 and only won 2 council seats. They also ran in the mayor election, winning less than 1% of the vote. Here is a glimpse at their campaign video for the election.
If I had 3 wishes right now, a decent commute, decent pay, and a decent place to come home to, and Idris Elba to rub my feet.
I don't get why you'd put that in there. It's really not helping the stereotype that women aren't funny. Nothing screams that women are oppressed more than making a joke right after you explain the hardships of being a woman. Comedy is tragedy plus time, but this is just tragic. There are issues which women face today in society. Please don't let the Women's Equality Party distort your view of that. You know, they're just out of touch, and it really upsets me because there are these issues, but no one seems to be caring about them because they're not as appealing as smashing the patriarchy and girl power and all that. I don't know, it just really annoys me. Please check out my social medias, please check out my Patreon. A special thank you to my Patreon followers. Sorry I've not been uploading as much as I can. I get really anxious in front of the camera, but I'm trying to deal with that. Thank you so much for watching. Please give a like, comment your opinions. I can't speak. See ya. Bye.